on a several-day trip, and during it they each met versions of each other, and whenever they came out were accurately able to explain to each other what happened, where they met them at, what they did, and then even when quizzed by outsiders, all gave the same stories of exactly what happened. And if you accept that to be true, then this is like, when I was talking about the cat nun stuff earlier and all that, I'm like, oh, this is something that is like just a hand past our reach of understanding. This is like a football field past our reach of understanding. And it is some of the coolest, most frightening concepts I have ever heard, and I love it. It's an S tier. Moving on. Another really cool one along that same line of thinking is the Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones are those 10 commandments of the Antichrist that someone paid a lot of money to have translated into a bunch of different languages on the middle of some property in Georgia. And I noticed a lot of people in the comments were saying, well, isn't that a good thing, what the Georgia Guidestones are saying? Because all the points were like, oh, well, take care of humanity, save the planet, blah, blah, blah. And the reason it's considered the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist is because everything that it's saying there causes people to have a complete reliance on self. So it can cause either these feelings of power or control in a person, or it could also cause these mass feelings of depression or that life is meaningless. And that all relates back to Antichrist theory and ideas of the end times, which is a lot of stuff we won't get into now. But it's really cool that these guide stones were made in a bunch of weird languages and put on the middle of the farm. And I mean, how could you not think that's neat? So yeah, it's an A. This microchip, I didn't really have a picture that fit better, but that's for the GGGQEP, which was gold, galenium something, quantum electronic processor. And it was that thing I explained how you could fit like 7 internets on one chip. It was really satisfying to me to be in the middle of all this research for like conspiracy theories and have like, oh, you're in 8 different universes at once and JFK is going to shoot Obama and all this other stuff. And then to just have a thing be like, hey, look, you can fit the internet on this chip. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool information. Thank you. And I still appreciate that alleviation from everything. Where the conspiracy come in is the idea that the internet could one day be owned by a single figure, which cannot potentially be a good thing. But it's a cool idea in itself, and you know, theory implications are pretty neat. So I'm going to put it right here at B, because I still appreciate what it did for me. Next up, we've got God's Last Wish, and I'm kind of grouping all of those God-related ones from the bottom tier of the iceberg, so God's Last Wish, God's Ego Death, and God of the Gaps Never Existed, because they kind of all fit into each other. But let me say, okay, for one, that is an S tier straight away, because it was so satisfying to me to go through the entire iceberg, and then the final theories were ideas of existence and humanity itself. And I love God's Last Wish so much. It was like the perfect embodiment of these ideas of religion and faith and existence that had kind of been built up to, and it was a good conclusion. I love that it was one of the last ones I got to talk about on the entire iceberg. It was fantastic. It's going straight to S tier. Maybe my favorite from the entire series. Other than Giants, of course, but that's a given. Himalayan zombies are going to go to B tier. Himalaya is really interesting. Everything from like the Sherpas of Tanbar and the other things of Shangri-La, or the idea of these secret temples that outsiders aren't allowed to know about. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. So the idea that they have these legends